In today's video, we are going to be looking at every Premier League club and the one player they must sign this summer transfer window in order to give their squad a massive boost for next season. We're going to start with my team, the Arsenal. Tammy Abraham, for me, is the man they ought to bring to the Emirates. 27 goals in all competitions last season. Single-handedly carried Jose Mourinho's Roma to UEFA Conference League glory last season. His aerial presence is second to none. And with the amount of crosses our fullbacks put in, let's just say he will not be short on service down in North London if he were to sign. At the moment, he's got a transfer market value of around £40 million. But for me, it would take a bid within the region of £60 to £70 million to really tempt Roma to sell this man. He is so important to them, and they might just be reluctant to let him go. But we have to push for this man. For me, he will be destined for great things at the Emirates. Now it's Aston Villa, and a man who I really do see as the final piece to Villa's defensive puzzle next season, alongside Ezri Konsa and new boy from Sevilla, Diego Carlos. What a top signing that is for Gerrard and Villa, by the way. But today I've gone for James Tarkowski of Burnley. He's just been relegated, so he will be desperate to be playing top flight football in the coming seasons, and I think Villa is perfect for him. He's correctly valued at an affordable price of around £20 million. Tyrone Mings is sort of going way under the radar at Villa Park at the moment. Tarkowski, for me, would be perfect to slot right in Gerrard's defence at Villa Park. The first of the three promoted teams, Scott Parker's Bournemouth, are on the lookout for a goalkeeper who will save the Cherries from relegation next season. Dean Henderson is the man at the top of their #1 list so far this summer. Although he has attracted interest from Newcastle, he could prove to be fairly expensive, and his wages could be just a bit too high for the Cherries to afford. He will be a top signing. We've seen what he can do in a newly promoted side. We saw it a couple of seasons ago under Chris Wilder at Sheffield United. If he were to be the #1 at the Vitality, that pair of hands could certainly see Bournemouth survive another year in the top flights. Brentford ought to sign Keane Lewis Potter from Hull. Somehow he's only valued at £10 million, and this young starlet of a winger will be an absolute steal for the Bees. He got 16 goal involvements in the Championship last year. Absolutely lit up the KC Stadium. He is still so young and attracting interest from West Ham as well. So he could choose to go down that route. But in my opinion, he's still got at least 15 years of incredible footballing talent ahead of him. What a signing and addition to Brentford's squad he really would be. Now, another player who could perhaps be destined for bigger things than just the Championship is Gustavo Hamer of Coventry City. 10 assists in the Championship last season. He is so cheap, only around £3 to £5 million. Brighton will absolutely love the prospect of that, and he will be a top addition to their attacking outlets next season. They need a few more goals in their side to really catapult them up the table, because they have even been underachieving. Although they've been achieving top finishes, they could even push for bigger and better things, and I think Gustavo could be one of the lads to really push them forward. On to Chelsea now, and recently there have been heavy links to Sevilla defender Jules Koundé. He will cost the Blues around £50 to £60 million. He is a top European centre-back. Borderline world class, in my opinion. He'll definitely suit the back three system that Thomas Tuchel loves to play. He doesn't make any errors leading to goals whatsoever, as you can see. He made nearly 100 clearances for Sevilla last season. Yes, he could be expensive, but at the moment, after the Todd Boehly recent takeover, that couldn't be too much of a problem for Chelsea. Koundé will be perfect for the Blues. Staying in London with Patrick Vieira's Crystal Palace, they have set their sights very firmly on the Arsenal's CDM, Cheikh Doucouré. He is wanted by a whole long list of clubs around Europe. So Palace will have to pull one of their finest tricks out the bag if they want this Malian man's signature. He's around 13 to 15 million pounds, I'd say. One of the highest rated midfielders in Liga last season. His passing's on point. He contributes with a couple of assists. He's very young as well. He's still only 22, I believe. He's also very, very versatile. Not too expensive at all. However, Arsenal are very, very keen on keeping him for next season. He would be a top addition to Vieira's squad. Now, after clinching promotion back to the Prem last weekend, Nottingham Forest will be desperate to keep hold of their star man up top, Mr. Brennan Johnson. 29 goal contributions in all competitions last season. Let me tell you, that is no mean feat. It will take a little more than £13.5 million if Everton are going to sign this lad. Nearly 60 chances created last season. That is absolutely unreal. Lampard has already expressed Everton's interest in this man. I reckon it will take between 25 to 30 million to sign him. Forest are so eager to keep hold of him. It will be a top signing for the Toffees, should it happen. Now, if I'm correct, Alexander Mitrovic bagged 43 goals in a 46-game championship season last year. That is out of the absolute ordinary, let me tell you that. So Fulham now will be looking to solidify their defence, and they want to bring in Nico Williams, a man who played 14 games for the Whites last season under Marco Silva. If Fulham are willing to pay Liverpool that £15 million, he is theirs, and he will hopefully for them be one of the missing pieces to their defensive puzzle, which they have struggled to solve in recent seasons in the Premier League. Many of you will definitely not be familiar with the name of Lewis O'Brien, the Huddersfield Town captain, only valued at £3 million, attracting a lot of interest from Leeds United, who could be looking to sell their main man in the middle at the moment, Calvin Phillips, for a very high fee, to say the least. We'll come to that later on in the video. But O'Brien was so consistent under Carlos Corberán in Yorkshire last season. Could he move round the corner to Elland Road? Could he be the answer to their midfield issues should Phillips make his way out the door? I know for a fact that many of you will be familiar with Rangers' man at the moment. His name is Mr. Ryan Kent, only valued at £12 million. Where a transfer market getting these ludicrous prices from? If Leicester want to sign him and add him to the whole host of homegrown attacking talents they have at the moment, they will surely need to pay at least £20 million to Glasgow Rangers. Even that is so cheap for a player of his calibre. However, he does want European football, so that could hinder his decision in moving to the King Power Stadium. Now, we are really getting to the big boys. This is the first of 3 in a row. Liverpool have just announced, well, a couple of days ago, announced that they will be saying goodbye to Sadio Mane. He will be moving on, and now they look for his replacement. And for me, it's a no-brainer. It's Christopher Nkunku. Right, are you ready for this? Right. 35 goals and 20 assists in all 55 goal involvements last season. Unbelievable. He is borderline world-class, if not world-class. It'll cost Liverpool around 60 to 70 million, or maybe even just pushing on to 100. So they would have to break the bank. Nkunku looks so set at Leipzig at the moment, and he is fairly expensive. We know Liverpool do not like splashing out the cash, so this could be slightly unlikely. But I think he is an absolutely perfect replacement for Sadio Mane. Now, we mentioned him just a couple of moments ago. Calvin Phillips is Manchester City's main summer transfer target. Leeds will want around 70 to 80 million pounds for me. He is Leeds' star man. There's no two ways about it. Man City, of course, we know they have the funds, and if this signing were to become a reality, it could be absolutely huge for Pep's side. At the time of recording this video, Manchester United have just announced that Paul Pogba will depart the club at the end of this month. So who to bring in now to replace him in that midfield? Alongside Donny van de Beek, under fellow Dutchman Erik ten Hag, it just all makes sense. Frenkie de Jong, he's affordable. Barcelona are willing to sell. He's a borderline world-class central midfielder, in my opinion. Will have a brilliant relationship with the manager and his midfield partner. This, for me, is an absolute no-brainer. Last season for Newcastle, the Brazilian man, Bruno Guimaraes, completely and utterly revolutionised the second half of the Toon season under Eddie Howe. And Guimaraes now will be eager to play alongside fellow Brazilian star man from Lyon, Lucas Paqueta, valued at around 30 to 35 million. Affordable for Newcastle these days. 18 goal contributions in all competitions last year. Like I said, Newcastle have the funds. However, Lyon could be slightly reluctant to let him go as he is so important to their squad. We'll have to wait and see. If this is pulled off by the guys at Newcastle, it would be absolutely unreal. Of course, we all know just how important the role of the right-back Jed Spence was in Nottingham Forest promotion charge. Although he is a Middlesbrough player, I highly doubt that will be the case next season. Forest are so eager to sign him up permanently. However, Tottenham and Newcastle are also interested in the attacking right back. 8 goal contributions under Steve Cooper last season. That is second to none. It's just superb, and if Forest were to keep hold of him, he will be so important in their quest for Premier League survival. And to be honest, if their problems do continue, Southampton could very well be one of the sides down there at the bottom fighting for survival alongside Nottingham Forest next season. They need to sign up a goalkeeper ASAP, with Harry Lewis and Fraser Forster about to head out the door. Nick Pope is just the man for them. He needs Premier League football and he needs it absolutely desperately. Saints, sign him now. I just mentioned Fraser Forster, who is on his way to Spurs from Southampton, but to say the very least, he is not Tottenham's #1 transfer target. It is this man, Mr. Alessandro Bastoni, the Inter Milan centre-back at this current moment in time, valued at around £55 million. He's played under Antonio Conte before. He can play in the left side of a back three, which will work very, very well for Conte and Spurs. However, he is happy at Inter Milan at the moment. Could Tottenham tempt him, however? Now, staying in London, West Ham United need to sign a striker to support Mikel Antonio. He completely and utterly just faded away in the second half of their season. He was so tired because he was their lone striker. He had to do it all. Armando Broja is only valued at £16 million. I reckon a bid of £25 million would snatch him away from Chelsea. He scored 9 goals and got 1 assist at Southampton last season, and he could bag 15 to 18 goals for West Ham should they sign him. I reckon he could do a very, very good job for the Hammers. And finally, under Bruno Lage, it's Wolverhampton Wanderers. Could Rangers star defender Calvin Bassey be destined for Molineux? He got 6 assists for Van Bronckhorst boys last season. He had an average rating of 7.25 to be very, very exact. He is proven on the European stage. We saw in Rangers' unbelievable Europa League journey last season. He is such a strong defensive option for Wolves to opt for. However, he wants to stay in a European competition. Wolves, sadly for them, cannot offer him that. But they can offer him some Premier League football, which could be too good to turn down for Mr. CB, who can play as a right CB. That concludes every Premier League club and the one player they must sign this summer transfer window. Who is your club and who is the player that you want to sign? Let me know now in the comments. 3, 2, 1, write it right now. I'll be waiting and I will be there to reply and debate about all these players. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will see you very, very soon for another video. Cheers, guys. Goodbye.